Hey guys, you're in a nutshell with me, Ina. O, di ba? Meron akong shirt today. Hindi po ito merch. Meron lang po nagbigay sa atin. Meron siyang t-shirt printing business all the way in Regina, Saskatchewan. Ayun, umabot sa akin dito sa Ontario. Thank you so much, Nurse Bay. Anyway, congratulations everybody. Meron tayong newly elected Prime Minister Mark Carney of the Liberal Party. Masaya ba kayo sa naging outcome ng eleksyon? Ang bilis, ano? Parang gano'n na lang, natapos na yung election day. Are you happy with the results? Is this what you expected? Well, whether or not you like it, wala na tayong ibang choice kundi tanggapin ito at ang ating hinaharap. Yan ang pag-uusapan natin. What is the future now of immigration, at least in the next few years, under the leadership of Mark Carney? Yan po ang ating pag-uusapan in this episode. We will be basing off his pronouncements, yan, nung kampanya niya. Ano ba ang sinasabi niya na plano niya tungkol sa immigration? Ako, honestly, bago ko i-play yung soundbite niya, no, ano pa bang aasahan? Di the same! Itong nakikita po nating ongoing na pagbabawas ng mga temporary residents dito, I think it will continue on. Obviously, because this is the same party that we will be that will lead us in the coming years. And take note, si Mark Carney po ay advisor po yan, ano, ni former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Okay, although, actually, ang sinasabi nga niya nung campaign din, ano, ang immigration daw, over the past years, under the leadership still of his party, the Liberal Party, it needs to get back on track, sabi niya, no, because naging unsustainable daw. I guess, yung naging program under the previous government, which, again, partido pa rin naman po niya yun. Ano. So, we'll see. Pag-usapan natin kung ano po ang changes na kanyang gusto mangyari. I will start off with this soundbite. I think this was said about a month ago. Ito po, this is from Global News. So, sige. 1 minute lang naman. So, play ko na ng buo.
There was a surge in immigration. Both in temporary foreign workers, in foreign students, as well as permanent immigration, and we have not lived up have not lived up to the bargain with those people. There's not adequate housing. Not everyone who came here for an education was getting an education that they would expect. And a consequence of that, many other aspects, but a consequence of that is the new caps that have been put in place on much lower levels of immigration, including temporary foreign workers, including foreign students. And those caps, or something similar to those levels, in my judgment, need to remain in place until we've expanded housing. We've reabsorbed the levels of immigration that have happened in our country, and so there's not a predetermined point where one would remove or adjust those caps.
So there, that's clear. The caps will remain in place at least until maayos daw yung sitwasyon dito, halimbawa sa issue ng housing. Kasi nabanggit niya, no, aminado siya na merong problema dahil sa dami ng mga tinanggap over the past years. He said, for example, international students have not been receiving the good quality education that they deserve, not enough homes to accommodate everybody. So ayun, no, sabi niya, the caps will remain, but at the end of the soundbite, he said, undetermined for how long. Diba? I guess that is until enough houses are made at the very least, no? For now, ang clear plan po nila ay nakasaad doon sa Canada Immigration Levels Plan, which has been prepared until 2027. And to briefly summarize it, talagang nililimitahan po doon ang bilang ng mga permanent residents na tatanggapin, at the same time gradually reduce the number of temporary residents who are here. Okay, alam na alam naman po natin yan, no? Lalo na, nakikita na yan ngayon, nararamdaman na yan ngayon. Okay? I guess, it is intentional yung nangyayari ngayon na maraming hindi makahanap ng PR pathway, maraming may pending application, hindi binapilikan because the goal is again to reduce the number of temporary residents. And ang resulta po niyan, talagang ma-out of status, mapipilitan mag-expire ang mga permit para mapauwi po ang marami. Okay? Now, I think sometime in February, we talked about the number of visas rejected in 2024. For some reason, alam mo, that report made the headlines again over the past week, I think. Alam, ito yan, ano? Record number of people applying to come to Canada for work, study, or visit were refused in 2024. Okay, mahigit 2 million ang nirefuse na visa applications noong 2024. Yan, mahigit 2.3 million. Or kalahati ng mga nag-apply, okay, ay nireject. Okay, that is the highest level since 2019, before the pandemic. So that covers study permits, work permits, and visitor visas. Ba't ko pinabanggit ito? Because I think it will continue, this trend of refusals. Okay, this trend of refusals, because it would not make sense if the overall goal is to reduce the number of temporary residents who are here, tapos bigla mag-a-approve ng marami ng bagong papasok. Diba? It doesn't make sense. So, ayun, I think this trend will continue. I don't know if it will surpass and set another record high this year, 2025 or 2026, but my point is malaki pa rin po. I believe ang magiging percentage, ang refusal rate na makikita natin over the next few years. Okay, so dito, no, pinakamarami dun sa na-reject ay mga visitor visa. Mula dun sa 2.3 million, 1.95 million ay visitor visa applications. Wow, ang laki talaga. So isa po yan, no, sa inaasahan natin with Mark Carney's leadership. Ano pa? Ito, alam mo guys, actually, if you guys just research, ang dami ng mga summaries na ibibigay sa inyo. So I'll just be jumping off from one of the more extensive articles na nakita ko, no. Ayan. O, syempre, dahil nanalo na nga. What the Liberals have in store for Canada's immigration policy. This is from CIC News. Ayan. Una, stabilizing permanent resident admissions. Okay, stabilizing. Dahil nga, sinasabi, no, masyadong marami din ring naging PR at hindi sapat ang bilang ng housing, dahilan para tumaas din ang rent prices here in Canada, as well as cost of houses na rin mismo. So in the previous leadership, umaabot pala ang PR admissions sa 500,000 per year. Okay, noon yun, nung panahon ni Justin Trudeau. Pero this coming 2020, this year, 2026 and 2027, ang plano lang nila, nasa less than 400,000 ang kanilang tatanggapin, no? So, in 2025, 395,000. In 2026, babawasan ng kaunti, 380,000 na lang. And then, bababa pa ng husto rin, no? Sa 2027, it will be 365,000. So, that's one thing that's gonna happen. Another one, ito kanina pa natin sinasabi, reducing temporary resident levels. Okay. Naku, alam mo, I only suspect one reason why ang laki ng refusal rate dun sa visitor visas is because nag-iingat na po ang Canada, no? Alam nila na kapag ang isang tao ay nakarating dito kahit on visitor visa, ang dami nang pwedeng gawin para manatili dito. Diba? I think that's one thing they're trying to avoid. Para hindi lumobo yung bilang ng mga temporary residents dito. So, dalawa daw ang strategy to reduce temporary resident levels here. Una, yung mga nandito na temporary resident, gagawin na po silang PR. Okay? Uunahin sila sa mga tatanggaping PR dito sa Canada. Again, yung mga nandito na po. I guess that makes sense, right? And pangalawa, at the same time, aalisin yung marami due to status expiring. Ayan, yung naka-highlight, diba? Yun yung binabanggit ko kanina. I guess not everybody will be picked for PR, diba? And you can only extend your work permits for so long, di ba? Hindi naman yun na forever. At some point, no, kung kayo po ay hindi magiging PR dito, maaabutan po talaga ng expiring status. Hence, ang expectation po ay aalis. Diba? So, yun yung dalawang main strategies to reduce temporary resident levels. Siyempre, bakit din magkakaroon ng expiring status maliban sa limited yung PR na tatanggapin? Binabawasan na rin po yung i-approve na study permit applications. Kasabay nun, pati yung spousal open work permit, nakasama ng ilang PGWPs. So, tuloy-tuloy lang yan, guys, na mangyayari. Again, we are already seeing this happening right now. Nako, ito interesting. Isa po sa mga inaasahang mangyari, dadami ang tatanggaping French speakers. Hindi lang po in Quebec, kung saan alam natin, doon po talaga marami mga French speakers. Outside Quebec, the Liberal Party has proposed increasing the target for Francophone immigration outside Quebec to 12% by 2029. Ano ba yung dati? Parami ng parami pala yun. Kasi in 2025, 8.5% ang allocation for Francophone immigration. Tataasan ng konti ng 9.5% sa 2026, 10% in 2027, at by 2029 nga, 12%. Kaya nga alam nyo guys, merong ilang mga RCIC na nag-a-advise na one of the better strategies to boost your chances to be picked to be an immigrant here in Canada is to learn French. Okay? Kasi malaki ang points na nakukuha po kung marunong kang mag-French. Of course, you have to study and pass an exam, and meron pong score na dapat kang i-hit doon. But I was told, kaya-kaya naman doon ng mga Pilipino. Kung gusto mo talaga, kakayanin mo yun. Kung gusto mo talagang magamit yung points dyan, kakayanin mo talaga yun. Diba? I have an episode about that, guys. Sige, balikan nyo na lang, Nakalimutan ko na yung title, Ayan. Ito. Supporting economic immigration. Actually, I'm not very familiar with this program. Meron palang Global Skills Strategy, kung tawagin, at plano daw itong i-revamp ng Liberal Party. It is their way to attract global or top global talent. Ang sabi dito, it's a federal program that helps eligible Canadian businesses hire skilled workers from around the world, with priority work permit processing in 2 weeks. Wow, that's big. Ang bilis nun, 2 weeks. Maganda yun. Alam niyo naman ngayon ang problema, yung napakahabang processing time for work permits. Okay, naabot ng several months. I guess this is one way for them to counter yung fraud na nakita natin sa LAMIA, sa Temporary Foreign Workers Program, na binibenta yung LAMIA, etc. Yeah, siguro ito yung this is one way to counter that. Sige. Yun, masabi dito, kasama dun sa pag-revamp ng Global Skills Strategy is to have new projects that could help high-growth Canadian businesses and entrepreneurs attract talent. Ano kaya yung high-growth Canadian businesses and entrepreneurs? At meron silang intention daw to draw highly skilled workers from the US in particular. Okay? So may priority sa US, Okay, ito ang gusto ko din. It will work, or the party will work with provinces and territories to streamline at pabilisin ang recognition ng foreign credentials and international professional experience. Sana nga, 'di ba? Sana. Especially for our healthcare workers, 'di ba? Napag-usapan ko rin to in a recent episode, yung mga nurses. Sana mas mabilis, halimbawa, yung accreditation process for them, pati yung pagkonsidera dun sa work experience nila abroad, for all internationally educated nurses. I hope makatulong ito. Guys, isa lang po to sa maraming articles na makikita nyo online if you wanna read up more on what we can expect when it comes to immigration here in Canada under the new leadership of Liberal Party leader, Prime Minister Mark Carney. Matutupad kaya ang plano ng mga ito? O baka dahil eleksyon na, Sabihin nila, nako, nagpapogi lang, hinigpitan yung immigration dahil alam ng marami na dito po maraming mga Canadians, mga locals na nagre-reklamo tungkol sa immigration. Ngayon bang tapos na ang eleksyon at nanalo na sila, magbabago kaya ang ihip ng hangin, ang tono ng paghihigpit ng Liberal Party? We will see. Okay, we will see. Dami natin pwedeng abangan tungkol dyan. So yeah, I will end this episode here. I'll see you guys in the next one. Put your comments down there, basahin ko. Bye!